I'm Jourdan Porter. I am from Davidson, North Carolina. In 10th grade, I was living right outside Jackson, Mississippi. And it was pretty early in the school year, and I had a PE class. Across the gym, walking like ahead of us in the circle, was this girl. She was pretty cute. And I just like turned to the guy walking next to me and was like, "That's my girlfriend." He was just like, "Do you know her?" And I was like, "No." Later on, I guess a couple days later, I realized she was in my chemistry class. We had a science fair in 10th grade, and we had to partner up. So we became science fair partners. No idea what our experiment actually was, but I do know that it made her have to come over to my house. And so she came over, only my dad's place. My parents were divorced. We were like making this huge diagram thing for chemistry. I think it was like an atom or something. So we're like trying to cut all the cardboard, and she's like sitting across the cardboard from me. We had like a whole pile in front of us, and she was just like, "So like, do you like girls?" And I was like, "Well, you know, like snip snip. I hadn't before, snip snip." Like, she was like, "Do you like me?" I was like, "Yes." We just, you know, kept working on the science fair, but then also started hanging out non-chemistry related. We were at my dad's place, and we were standing in my closet, ironically, and she kissed me. Then we started talking like more seriously about actually dating. And I was like, "Okay, I really want to date you, so I guess I should tell my mom." Actually, before talking to my mom, my dad and I had gone to lunch, and he was like, "So I have to ask, we don't have to talk about it, but I just have to ask, are you and this girl like together? Like, you like her?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Does your mom know?" I was like, "No." "Are you gonna tell her?" I was like, "Eventually." He was like, "Okay." I invited the girl over, and my mom was lovely. Like, she was cordial. The girl left, and I was sitting on my kitchen table, and my mom was like, "Oh, like, she seemed nice. It's like, as long as she doesn't turn you." And I was like, well, she started crying and walked away and called my brother. My brother, who is fantastic, was like, "Why are you crying? Like, cis hetero men suck. Like, maybe this means she like won't end up with one of them now. Like, this is great." So she ended up like being kind of alone in how like she was feeling about, you know, the whole coming out. In total, I felt like it could have gone much worse, but it also could have gone a little better. So I'm 20. I'm now dating a trans guy. Super happy. He treated me well. She knew him well. I was talking with her and one of her friends, and her friend was actually I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going on a date." My mom was like, "Oh, like with a guy?" And I was like in an open relationship. So it was with a girl. My mom was like, "Oh." Like, she looked very dejected. This led to an argument, which we had never really had an argument over sexuality things. We were in her house. When it started to get heated, she was going down the stairs. So she's at the bottom of the stairs, and I'm at the top of the stairs. And eventually I just like yelled down to her. I'm like, "You will not be happy unless I'm with someone with a penis." She was really hurt by this. It abruptly ended the argument. She kind of just walked away. She definitely like went to her room, processed. And she felt really bad. She didn't think it was true. I was like, well, this is how I feel. Like, every time I mention someone who doesn't have a penis, who's, you know, to her automatically a girl, she's since grown from that, you aren't happy. You're tolerant, which is different. And like, I want you to be happy when I'm happy. She was crying because I hurt her feelings, but they were also like angry tears because she thought I was lying about her. And she was like, "That's not how I feel. Like, how do you think that I feel this way?" And I was like, I kind of just like laid out the examples, things she would do, things she would say. And she was like, "Oh." I don't think it had really crossed her mind that she was being hurtful. That was really a switch. She like went from, you know, being more just like tolerant, like, to like really accepting it and like asking me questions and like being excited when I was going on dates. Even she was dating this guy, and he wasn't the biggest fan of my being a lesbian. She said that he was like, oh, like, are you okay with her, like, and her lifestyle? And my mom was like, you are talking about my daughter. If you have a problem with this, like, we don't have to date anymore. I was touched. Like, she came home, like, really angry, like, for me. She was worried for me about, like, encountering people like him. But, like, she got to, like, do her due diligence as a mother. And she's a really protective mother. So we're definitely, like, on the up and up. It was a journey, for sure. Journeys are supposed to have, like, missteps every now and again. But, you know, we're really in a good place. You know, you can say, you know, maybe hurtful things, but that doesn't mean you're a bad person, and that doesn't mean you can, like, can't change and, like, have a meaningful relationship.